John, you hear me?
Yes, I do. How are you, buddy?
I'm good, man. I miss you. You're out in Fargo getting some stuff done. Whoever says pyros sleep? Never. No, I know. I miss you, man. You're out in Fargo getting stuff done. I'm here in Chicago, but we got some good news today. Did you see the press release that went out this afternoon?
Yes, I did. And I was very happy about that.
Yeah. I thought you would be. And I figure since maybe we had a little bit of help in this process, but the big guys that did all the heavy lifting, Larry Farnsworth and certainly Steve Hauser did the most of the heavy lifting with the NFA. We got them on the phone right now, so let's get them punched in and let's talk to them and let's hear what happened with this with the NFA with the CPSC. You ready?
Okay, I can't wait.
All right, guys. Steve, Larry, man, how you guys been? You guys out celebrating?
Well, I'm in celebrating.
You've been.
It was. I'm in celebrating.
Yes.
But this has been a long road that the NFA and its membership have undertaken, and you guys have been part of this, and we finally got it to the vote today, and we were very happy to see that the commissioners voted the NPR down, voted it down, and so now we have to move on to the next phase. But for now, we're very, very happy and very, very pleased.
So were you actually in the room when the vote happened?
Larry was. I wasn't.
I was there. And there really wasn't much. There really weren't many people there other than staff and myself and some of the rest of the Washington team from the NFA. And we sat there in the front row and watched the whole thing transpire. And we thought that it might be a little bit longer and a little bit more of a laborious proceeding, but it was in and out and seemed like it was over in about 15 minutes.
Wow.
Let me ask you a question, Larry. Was anyone from the APA there?
No, they were not there.
Okay. Curious.
It was, like I said, it was just staff and us. The way that it went down is that they asked staff if they had any questions. They asked the commissioners if they had any questions of the staff. The staff sat there and they went down the dais. They asked Commissioner Kay, who had no questions. Commissioner Adler had a quick question about some DOT regulations that the CPSC staff, kind of answered and said, but that's more DOT's, perspective, not ours. Commissioner Feldman and Biacco had no questions, and they went to a ruling, or they went to make a motion that would allow the CPSC to move forward with proposing that the rule to the Federal Register, and the federal that would have allowed them to continue to solicit comments and potentially come back and amend it. Commissioner Adler and Kay voted in favor of it. Commissioner Feldman, Biacco, and Acting Chairman Burkle voted it down, and they rolled right into the actual vote. And it came down to the three Republicans on the commission, Feldman, Biacco, and Burkle, voted to vote the rule down and not accept the staff package. Commissioner Adler voted yes to accept it, and Commissioner Kay abstained from the vote, and it was over.
Wow!
Just all that hard work, just like
news.
that.
Yeah,
wow. Just like
right.
that.
So at the end of the day, that's all good news for consumer fireworks people. So and I'll just read the press release. NFA applauds CPSC action on federal fireworks regulation. Anybody who wants to read the press release in its entirety, I'm sure you go to saveourfireworks.com or go to the NFA website. I know I saw a link to it on Twitter. Go to that and you can read the press release in all its glory. So I guess for now, the consumer fireworks industry in a whole can can breathe a little bit easy. But Steve, I think you mentioned next steps. So what are the next steps?
Well, as we, gone through this process and defeated this rule, there's obviously been a lot of talk and discussion on what the next step is in industry moving forward. And my plan for the NFA, and we first mentioned this to the commissioners when we were out there in August before the NFA Expo, and we met with them on our compromise proposal, is, one thing we want to do is we want to take an educational message, and we need to craft this and develop this. Because a lot of the problems that happen with these fireworks, these bad injuries, are misuse. And we want to help educate people on that because we want to take a great industry and we want to make it even greater. We want to take a safe product and we want to make it even safer. One of the things we've got to, move forward with aggressively, is to engage the NFA members and everybody's got to take some real pride in this. This fight, came with a lot of time and a lot of sacrifice on behalf of a lot of people. It took a lot of funds, and everybody loves a winner. And now they get to be part of the winner. And now what we need to do is we need to take that positive energy and we need to turn it right back into, the fireworks regulations and say, hey, there were some things in this rule that was voted down today that we're fine with. There were some positive things in there, but the way it works is when you have a rule, you kind of vote the rule. And, but they had that one critical part that was just so no good. It just wasn't good for the industry. And that's where, the commission, as a whole recognized that one fatal flaw, but there were some good parts there. So, Commissioner Biacco at the end of it, at the end of the meeting, she made a point to saying, that the industry needs to come together to develop some voluntary standards for the industry, to keep working on safety. And the NFA always supports safety, and that's our primary goal for all of the general public and, all of our members. We all want safe fireworks, and we've talked about this at length, So, we have to move that on to the next stage. But today we get to do it from the standpoint of we want to lead this. We are going to lead this discussion, and the membership of the NFA should take some great pride in what they've accomplished, but they can't sit back and rest on their laurels. We want to be humble in our victory, but we need to still drive forward because we can't sit still. Otherwise, we can get run over some other day, and we don't want to let that happen. We don't ever want to be behind the 8 ball again.
And I agree. I think we need to. As the NFA, we need to take control of the discussions, and we need to lead the pack instead of letting somebody else do that, and then they just kind of sneak something by us again. So I think we need to be proactive in everything.
Yeah, I mean, with the over 1,200 members that the NFA has, I mean, we are, the largest fireworks organization in the world. People talk about industry this and industry that, but, we cut such a broad swath across, all levels of the fireworks industry that we really truly do represent, the fireworks industry, and particularly, John, as with consumer fireworks. There's far more of those companies that are members of the NFA, and we need to keep championing consumer fireworks for our membership. And it's so critical. I mean, I don't know if you guys saw the APA press release that came out today.
We did. I saw that, and the headline: U.S. fireworks industry expresses disappointment in CPSC failure to approve consumer safety. They're trying to speak for everyone, but I even sent the tweet back saying not everyone is disappointed in this ruling. I don't know what I think it was Julie Heckman who sent this, tweeted this out. She's trying, that seems a little misleading. Not everybody is disappointed with this ruling.
No, I've took phone calls and talked to many people today that were jumping up and down, that were relieved. I heard the phrase "David beat Goliath" today, and it's about the greater discussion. And while I don't recognize that the APA, I wouldn't say they don't have valuable things to offer, because they surely do, but they just give no credence to anyone else. And I had one guy, he read the press release, this one here, and he says, "Oh, that's another example of fake news." But I think what we need to do is, we've reached out to them, to the APA, on behalf of this whole metals argument for the last 2 years, saying, hey, let's come together, but let's not do something and try to leave the other guy out. And we still have that invitation out there. We're just waiting for them to accept it. And let's have a discussion, but let's not pit an industry against itself. We need to really, get past all of that and work for the betterment of an industry together, truly. And if they really want to do that, they should reach out. If they really don't want to, because they really don't care about the industry, well, then I guess they can walk the road alone.
Yeah.
Well, once again, NFA best supports the consumer fireworks industry. APA does not. So, I guess once again you would say that is fake news. I mean, and I'm glad that we tweeted back. And but people have to understand that the NFA is the real organization for consumer fireworks. So no better than anybody, CPSC or anyone else, if they have problems, they should come to us. If they have any questions, they should come to us, because we are the consumer fireworks industry.
Yep.
So
well said.
I believe that way.
Yeah, well, and I think, Steve, congratulations are in order. Last time we talked to you, you were just a pedestrian. Now you're the president of the NFA. So I think big things are on the horizon for the NFA, right, Steve?
Oh, yes, we have got a nice slate of things that we're ready to start working on, and we start our first round of meetings tomorrow morning, and then we start our second round on Thursday. And
wow, that is fantastic.
No,
and
we are not sitting. We're not sitting around.
No,
that's great.
Yeah, I mean, it's like the old saying: if you're both, if you and the APA and whoever, you're all pulling on the same side of the rope, right? You're going to win the tug of war. But if you're both on opposite sides pulling, it just makes it more difficult. So you would think you guys are all, at the end of the day, you're all heavily invested in lighting things that go up in the air and explode and make people really happy. You would think you could get a consensus together with those folks, and hopefully you get the agendas and the motivation to line up together.
Yeah, and that's really what needs to happen. I mean, I don't know, where this has come from in the past years or anything, but it seems like there's an awful lot of egos that have gotten in the way of good things. And, that stuff's all water under the bridge. I mean, there's a couple of sayings, I want to be humble in victory, but you also need to be gracious in defeat.
Yes.
And that's a good quote. That's a good saying. And there's another one out there that I read tonight as I was kind of preparing for this, and this one struck me because this kind of got to the heart of what we were talking about with some of the provisions of this rule that was, fortunately voted down. And this is Winston Churchill. It says, "The truth is inconvertible. Malice may attack it, ignorance may deride it, but in the end, there it is." And I think what the important part of that is that, everyone in this industry wants safety to be at the forefront of it. And all of that other stuff aside, that's where the focus needs to be. So, we need to roll up our sleeves. We need to get together. We need to work this out. And we need to put something on the books that will last the industry a lifetime, no matter what kind of fireworks you're selling and no matter what your particular business goals are. We need to recognize that fireworks are a celebration of American freedom, and everybody has a right to them, and everybody has a right to sell them. And I think that's where we need to start, and we need to develop a safe product, knowing that we have the same goal at the end in mind.
There you go.
And another short note, even something a little bit different, but how, like, when we go to a new city or township, and I walk in and I say to the lady at the front desk, or maybe it's just a secretary, and I ask her about state law for fireworks, and right away the first thing she says is, "Oh, I don't think we allow those." And I always have to say, lady, I'm not here to ask what you think. I'm here to find out what the state law is, what your county law is, what your city law is. But, that's just the type of negativity that we have to get past. And there's no better way to do that than making them safer. And so the first words out of people's mouth is not, "No, I don't think we allow them," is, "Oh, that would be wonderful. I would love to hear that one." And it's exactly what we hear when we go to these new cities and towns is, I don't think we allow those. So, the safe industry is what we really need, and we all have to work together for it.
Yeah.
Amen. Hey.
And I think, John, I think that you hit the nail on the head right there. Steve kind of mentioned it before that there, to get this victory today, it was a heavy lift, and a lot of people had to get involved. And when we talked last time when we were at the expo in Branson, we talked about how Steve and I were at breakfast, and the guy was kind of like, "Oh, you big people, you guys will handle all this stuff," and it's not. It's a team effort, and the reason why we were successful today is because everybody spoke up and made their voice heard. But there's still more work to be done, as Steve is saying, and so if you're not engaged yet, I would just tell people to go out there and follow the blog, go on to saveourfireworks.com, go follow us on Facebook, go to NFA Safety on Twitter, follow us there, because we're only going to be as strong as Steve said last time. He'd rather have an army going behind him charging this hill, and together we can make those changes. Because I don't know if you guys saw the video that we put up at Branson, but Steve, Steve as the new president was out there demonstrating one of his products, a cool sparkler. And it just shows to the types of things that the NFA does and is standing for and is innovating its products to make them more safer. And so we do have a voice in this debate, and we can do stuff, that proves that we have, the NFA is committed to safety.
Yep. Absolutely. Well,
I agree.
Steve, I know why they made you president. You can quote everybody from Ron Burgundy to Winston Churchill, and you still come off sounding very educated. I like that, Steve.
Well, thank you. I still don't know how far I can throw a baseball.
Yeah, I don't know what that comment was all about, but you know what? It's YouTube.
I don't know.
So, but yeah, I think you even quoted Nietzsche on our last episode. I can't even say the guy's name. So you're full of quotes, Steve. I think right before every podcast, John and I are just going to email you and ask you for some random quote, and what we're gonna call it Steve's quote of the month. How's that sound? Will you do that for us?
Okay. There we go.
I'd rather Steve be full of quotes than full of something else.
Yeah, absolutely. Well,
exactly.
Hey guys, congratulations. It's we can rest on our laurels a little bit, but if I hear what you're saying, it's the work is not yet done, and if we can get everybody pulling the rope in the same direction, it'll even make it more sweeter. So, thanks for everything you guys do, and you know what, everybody.
And one more note for Steve from me. Steve, as new president, if there's anything you ever need me to do, just let me know. Don't be ashamed to ask or whatever, I don't mind volunteering. If there's something you need, just let me know. I always there to help the NFA. It's a great organization, and so I'm always going to be there for you. So if you need anything, just let me know.
Yeah.
Well, John, thank you. Absolutely. And thank you for doing your help with the announcing of all the demos here at this past expo. That was a big help.
No, that's not a problem. And if I know ahead of time, I'll make sure I stay the last night and do the auction. That was my forte, was the auction, but I had to go. So,
I tell you,
I would have been happy about that.
John, let me tell you a quick thing about that auction. You sent that fellow over there. I can't remember what his name was. What was his name?
Steve.
Billy Long.
Yeah.
No. John's guy.
Yeah, Steve.
Steve. Okay. So
yeah, I worked with him.
Yeah, that's right. It was Steve, because he and I joked. Because he showed up and he goes, "Hi, I'm Steve. John sent me over here and told me I had to do an auction." And I looked at him. And he goes, "I've never done an auction before in my life." And I looked at him and I said, "Well, Steve, my name's Steve. I've never done an auction before either. Let's go."
There you go. A couple of.
We walked up there, and then we walked up there. Unfortunately, we had another member who was there, a guy named Tom Wilson, and he's really versed in all of the antique fireworks, the old fireworks, that was, we had tons of that stuff, and he knew all about it, so he could tell everybody, so they could actually make a decision on it. And I kept joking. I said, I'm so thankful he was here, because in all honesty, I would have walked up there, I'd have looked at it, and I'd have been like, okay, we're going to put this in this box, and we're going to sell a box of stuff. Because I just don't have the knowledge of those old antique fireworks. I mean, it really was amazing to see his knowledge on that stuff. It blew me away. So it's team effort. That's what we do here at the NFA.
There you go.
It takes all of us.
No, it was good. And on a different note, Steve even said to me, Steve said, I don't mind doing it, but if you're going to at least ask me first. And I said, why would I ask you a question you can't say no to anyways? I said, so you get paid to be at the NFA, and since I can't announce, you work for me, so you're doing the announcing. So, but I just made it. I'm like, why would I ask a silly question like that? So he finally gets the hint now, but he did enjoy himself. And he did a great job announcing, I'm sure, because that's he is a DJ. So I just don't throw anybody into the mix. I throw someone that can handle it. And next year I'll definitely plan to be there for the whole thing. This way I can follow through, because I really do enjoy it myself, and it's kind of fun. So seeing where the action is.
Yeah. No, he was a trooper. I'll give him that.
Yeah.
He was a trooper. He stayed there through it. He did good.
There you go. All right, guys. Well, thanks a lot. And it's late at night, so let's end this. And congratulations again, and we'll be in touch soon.
All right.
Congratulations, Mr. President.
Well, thanks.
Hats off to you guys.